Oh. Hello everyone and welcome to PSGL Monday Night Action. It's not the main division, which is probably what you all here for, but it's Formula 2, of course, with a near full grid, which I haven't seen in F2 for a while. We got Tom in the chat, who's left the session to get us set up. Hope for your sake you got a second invite to revert to. We actually restart the stream because I'm stupid and I put the title as Round 3 France. So let me just get the link out again. So yeah, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but Lordy is out tonight, so you're gonna have to put up with me. Hope you don't mind that. And of course, as well, this may not be related to Formula 1 in any sort or anything like that, but if you've not heard in the last hour, Unai Emery has been sacked from Arsenal, so it's a bad evening for him, as it's a wet qualifying as well. Some familiar names in here on title before from last season, and some I don't well, I do recognise, but I haven't seen them race at all. Was it really? And that is why that BBC post wasn't getting any likes, because it wasn't a bloody BBC post, was it? I got baited out. As I thought. Nah. Right, where's my clown mask? I'll need that. It's a good evening then for Unai Emery. He survives another day. But anyway, we've got some laps getting underway here. We're on board with Skeeven in the Alfa Romeo. I need to get some of the telemetry stuff up as well before Mouse Class comes into the chat and starts begging me for it. Who's actually the closest to completing a lap? It is Skeeven, I believe. Yeah, it is Skeeven. Ash's backed off, so we're going to go to Cameron Anderson, Cherry 2 Pie, in the McLaren. It's one of the drivers I commented over before, because he's got a lot of experience in F1. And he's in my beloved McLaren. So that makes him a smooth operator. Of course, McLaren won the F3 race last night as well, so that's something to cheer about. Foxy Dude actually was the first to set a lap. I should have saw that. You know, what can Cameron Anderson set as he comes up to the line? There's some debris down there. Someone's hit the wall of champions, and he's about a second off his Cherry 2 Pies. Silas goes second. That's a pretty close lap time. Leroy goes third. Pit Back goes third now, with Leroy going down to fourth. And CC Brain is now on pole. And look at these gaps as Black Felix goes and takes pole position. Of course, one of the drivers that did commentate over in F3 last season. But look at the gap between second to fourth. It's less than 200ths of a second. We got a close race in store. Of course, I don't know if it's going to be raining like this in the races. We are now on board with Leon. Is he on a lap? He was pretty slow through there. We'll find out, obviously. Yeah, that's slow. Wommer, who briefly left the session to go and get a setup, is on a lap, but he's got a lot of traffic up ahead of him, so he needs to be careful. That's the McLaren, I believe, of Charlie Tupai, and a couple of other drivers, Toro Rosso as well. this lap was going to be off, so it's wet. I need to pay attention to that. As Tom was trying to get the toe there off Guft. Well, he lagged through the World Champions chicane on my end, and he's gone pole position by about a tenth and a half. Maxi Luca. Oh, has he clipped the wall there? I think he just oh no, that is, he sent that debris up to Mars and back, and Skeven has another invalid lap time. He's just going for a bit of endurance run on those intermediates. It's Ollie Flavel goes 7th, goes forever in F2. Got some yellows. It's Cherry 2 Pie and Woma getting pretty close to each other on the track. They're side by side in this corner, practicing their racing. It seems to me, not on flying laps, I can't afford to do that. Not later on in the session, of course, though. Now, I believe Toxic Tomato was the winner of last week's race at France, as Foxy Dude goes pole by half a second to Wama. Of course, you can do a certain amount of laps on these inters and they won't go off. That's a good thing about them, especially in qualifying. You don't have to pit. You can do as many runs as you want if you had the tyre life and the tyre singing ability, I guess. And you pit up to the line for his third flying lap. There's a car off there in the background. Doing to Kevin Magnussen. I thought I did see one. Yellow flag. I was wrong. That's Ollie Flavel going into the pits. It's Leroy on a lap. He's 2 temps up. Skeven's just gone 2nd. We now got 16 people watching. I should imagine they all disappear when the F1 stream goes live, and that's Skeven off the track. We're going to go back on board with Taze, Leroy, the wonder kid of the PSGL community. He's 2 temps up on his lap. That will put him around CC Brain and Silas. And yeah, of course, the F4 champion of last season, F6 runner-up a few seasons back. He's 11 years of age, and he's done that already. It's yellow flag to second one. Well, they have to be slow cars, don't they? He's now on the back of CC Brain. He's catching him, caught him throughout the lap. What can Mr. Taze, Leroy do here? He goes 7th fastest, so right where I thought he would be. Ahead of CC Brain and Silas. So the drivers yet to settle up is Samster, Gamer Paco, Toxic Tomato, Brettster, who's just about to complete one actually, so we're going to go on board with him. In fact, it's a slow lap. Luke Green, Greeny LFC, of course, in the Red Bull. He is on a lap, and we're going to go with him. And Sam's just retired from the session without doing a lap, so that will mean he'll probably be starting at the back of the grid as long as the other drivers set laps and Greeny's abandoned his. On board with Leon. He's up in this time, but not by much. But we're going to go on board with him anyway. And that's a slide, and is he going to put it in the wall? No, he saves it. It's a good save from Leon, but he's gonna have to back out of that one. I should imagine he'll be pitting. Who's that racing point up ahead? That is Toxic Tomato, and he's pitted. Brett's he's limping around the track. That is that was Foxy Dude coming out the pits. Tom McElhine, or however you pronounce the second name. I hear already say it when you have 2 streamers on. I just don't know what he's saying now. No disrespect or anything. And Tom's had a poor run out of there, not taking the qualifying line, and he is down by 3 seconds. Black Phoenix took the better line in the wet, let's say, through the first corner, or second corner actually. And as you see, go on board in here, it's not raining anymore, so this track is going to be drying up, and this is going to make it so it is the last lap dash. In fact, Luke Green, Greeny LFC, has already put a set of softs on. There's going to be a mad dash at the end of this qualifying session for the pole position lap. I reckon he's gonna be whoever's last to set it. As you can see, the red tyre is popping up everywhere now. Well, I say everywhere. It's only 4 drivers selected it so far, but yeah, they're starting to pop up here on the graphics. CC Brain. Track's soon enough dried. I don't know why has DRS been enabled? Someone been keeping an eye on that? So can you tell me in the chat, please? As CC Brain comes up the line. As he goes 7th ahead of Leroy. It's still a competitive lap time, despite the drying surface. Big respect to him there. As we got cars coming out the pits now. I think they're all Inter runners. Actually, no. Luke Green is the first driver out there on a set of softs. Depends on how many he's actually got allocated for him to use. There's still 7 minutes left in the session. If you get this run in time, then you could still go out and set another run. And tell you what, if it's if the strategy is like the medium to hard type strategy, I reckon the smart decision here is to go on a set of mediums. While you know everyone is out there at Inters, try and set the best lap time you can. You'll be on the front foot then for the race. Oh, we got a car off. It's a Ferrari. It's Foxy Dude, our current fastest driver in the session. He has spun it. He has avoided the wall, I think, just about. He's not got any damage on that car, but he's going to have to pick because he's destroyed those Inters. I think that's just the factor of the drying track and the Inters not sticking to it. And there is the sign. DRS is enabled. Greeny has timed this perfectly. But whether it'll mean anything at the grand scheme of things at the end of the session, of course the track conditions are going to improve throughout his lap. And for the other drivers behind him, that will mean better traction, a quicker lap time. And I think that's what these drivers were actually waiting for, is for the dry pat. Controllers disconnected. Sorry about that. So yeah, I think you got the memo there. We are going to go on board Greeny as he is the first soft runner. There's plenty of them out there now. And this is not really the best camera angle in the world. Codemasters, can you switch me to a TV angle, please, and on number 1? Thank you very much. Greeny is on a 21.3 in the first sector, and understandably that is well quicker than what Foxy Dude set on the Inters. Over a second. And that's just going to improve throughout. And I think there's been an incident, I think, on the front straight, because it was the L5 sector 1 and 3. Through the hairpin. That Red Bull looks stuck to the track. This won't be pole for Greeny, but he's gonna have his name first in the leaderboard, which is enough for him, I guess. Come through the last chicane, nose guy. Oh, he's backed off. He's actually backed off, so that means we're going to go to the next driver, and that's either is it Wommer or Leroy? It's Leroy who's first in line, or is Thomas and Maxi Luca ahead of him? In fact, Maxi Luca is ahead of him. Got no Furious in the chat, I believe it's well, I know Sam Thompson. Damn, Foxy Duty's on a roll right now. He is, but whether they keep that pole time. Maxi Luca's weaving down the straight, trying to get temperature in those tyres, of course, on a very cold surface. The rain's just cleared. It's going to be hard to, and he has also backed off. Which means we're going to go to Thomas now, who's actually picked up some wing damage, so he'll be pitting. Leroy's also pitted. This driver's just getting a feel for the softs, but not Tom. He's going to go for it. He's going to go and set that pole lap. And as you can see, it's well off the pace. But that's just going to go and roll down at the end of the session. See if Brett's still back off, or will he pit? DRS wide open. ERS in overtake mode. Maximising the straight line speed, and Brett does not back off. He's going to go and complete the lap. Will it be better than Tom's with the improving track surface? And it is by 0.4 of a second. Brett is currently on pole, but how long? Everyone else is, and he's actually gone off a turn 1. So pretty much everyone's not on the lap right now. So what's the chat got to say? In fact, there's actually some activity going on in the Ferrari garage down there. And that is, if I just, that's Foxy Dude, because he's the Ferrari on the mediums. Look, they prepared Nuke Yazim's car as well to go out there on the track. I have to wait an awful long time. There we go. They are both out at the same time, the Ferraris. Playing some tactics, maybe. Scheming's on an outlap on mediums. Like I said, if you start on the mediums, you get on the front foot towards everyone else. And Samster played a big mistake here in retiring when it was intermediates. More and more drivers appearing out on the track. There's some activity, of course, going on in the garages. Engineers getting ready to send their guys out on the track, and that's one of the Renaults there, and to stack up, because the other one was coming out the garage, and I think that was Leon holding up Bretster. Look at that, 4 cars came out there at the same time, including the 2, well, they were both McLarens and Red Bulls. So got some intra-team tactics going on down them 2 teams. Let's go into game chat for a sec. Want to hear this. Right, so I can do anything actually. Stream quality is a bit bare. I'm doing the best I can. My internet's been bullshit, to say the least, for the last week or so. I know I said BS. James Hunt said it and he got away with it, so let me get away with it. So everyone's on a dry set of tyres. That's a Renault there, getting very close to the wall back there. That was Leon. Hasn't picked up any damage. It's a mad dash, like I said. This drivers on outlaps with about half a minute left in the session. Where they got more time than what I got remains to be seen. Who do you think is not going to make this? I don't think Max is going to make it. These guys are just performing the after you tactic, I guess you could say. Just waiting for people in front to go before them. And that's just as Ugasim sets pole position in 109.7. Max Lucas just started a lap just as Thomas sets pole position, and the session runs out of time for anyone to start a lap. And like I said earlier, it's going to be one of the last people to cross the line to win this race. Get pole. Silas goes second on the set of mediums, and there was a McLaren off. And was that Cherry Tupai? It is Cameron Anderson. Oh, he needs to watch out. There's an Alfa Romeo coming, and he's hit him. He's got away with it. As the times are starting to flow in now. Thomas is still on pole. Cherry Tupai, I believe, will probably be starting from the back. No, Maxi Lucas retired before him on the 21.1, so he will not be starting at the back. Pip Matt is also out. CC Brain's gone pole. Packer can only go 5th. What can Leroy do? He's out there. One of the early drivers yet to set a lap. Actually, Tom's first, and then we'll go to Leroy. And then Toxic Tomato. Tom goes pole. Leroy can only go 8th. And what can Toxic Tomato go? He goes pole by less than a second to Tom. So that's your qualifying. Pretty entertaining one, knowing that there was a mad dash there at the end because of the changeable conditions. I'm guessing there's going to be a dry race, so just select few on mediums there. So on pole position is Toxic Tomato, Welsh Pride, Walmer second, CC Brain third, Thomas 4th, Silas 5th, Black Phoenix 6th, Paco 7th, Foxy Dude 8th, Ugazim 9th, and Taze Leroy in 10th, rounding out the top 10. Leon, Ollie Flava, Bretster, Skeven Pitmat, Cameron Anderson, Maxi Lucas, Samster, and Greeny, all outside the top 10. Greeny and Samster in set times. And of course, those drivers we just mentioned, they'll be starting on dry tyres. Your CPI Lewis in the chat. What's the point of starting on mediums? Pit lane is like 15 seconds, and the undercut works so well, especially the two-stop. Yeah, if the undercut works well, then you could say the overcut works well in some circumstances, bearing in mind that the other drivers don't undercut. But like I said, it's the more preferable option. Just waiting for the drivers to make some adjustments to the setup. Of course, a lot of drivers will probably be running wings. Would be more suited to the wet conditions rather than the dry, so they're probably just setting them back for the dry wings. Let's hope Leroy doesn't lose his head like you may have seen on Twitter the other day. I didn't see anything. Just fill me in on that, please. So, got 4. Of course, a lot of drivers are going to let the clock run down. It gives you advantage on how warm your tyres are. And the racing point of Toxic Tomato leads us away. The formation lap. Get your predictions in chat for who's going to win this race. I do believe that Silas may have a good chance at it, but like Lewis has said, the undercut is strong. So you could see many of the soft runners just peek ahead and win this race like we did in F3 of France last night, with the soft runners who qualified on softs, of course, actually ended up being ahead of the drivers qualified on harder tyres, or started on harder tyres, and one of them actually won the race initially. As of course you see the as a familiar ritual of warming up the tyres on the formation lap for some of these drivers. Coming through the part of the track, of course, where Robert Kubica had his horrible accident back in 2007, in which he had to miss the US Grand Prix the following week and gave the debut to Mr. Sebastian Vettel. Whatever happened to him, I don't know. Yeah, Toxic Tomato is in control of the pace. It's like the safety car of the formation lap, except the safety car isn't there. I forgot Blue's on Paris Twitter. Okay, I'll have to have a look at that after the race. Looks like we have one car. Well, Samso was actually disqualified from the formation lap by someone not getting going. But if he did get going, so yeah. Waiting for Greeny to line up on the grid. I don't know why he backed off from his lap, and now he's running at the back of the grid because of that. Maybe free choice of tyres. But anyway, I'll take the UI off. Got 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, and 5 lights. Lights out, away we go for the Canadian Grand Prix. Tom's got the better start. The Toxic Tomato is going to be challenging him there on the outside of the turn 1. He's going to have to back out of it. Anything going on up behind? It's 3 wide nearly there. His front wings going around the place, and there's a McLaren. McLaren round, it's Cameron Anderson. He's in the wall. That's his race done already. Yeah, so a pretty hectic start. And there's the Haas and the Ferrari, and they're both out. And the Haas of Leroy nearly gets upside down there as he got a hit from Leon. That was a big crash, and Leroy, of course, sitting the hard front of all them. Ollie Flavel, something's happened to Ollie. It's a big crash. There's another big crash, and another one including the McLaren. What is going on here? PSGL F2, everyone. Even worse than F5 in some cases. A lot of drivers getting wing damage. Leroy's already out of the race. He's gone. And there's the Toro Rosso spinning off. What is going on at the start of this race? These guys are racing like public lobby races. They don't know what they're doing out here. Silas has crashed into the wall. He's got wing damage. I can't say they're awful. I'm about a second slower than these guys are, so most of these guys. And that's Samstra and Maxi Luca heading towards the pits. Sorry, Skeven. Meanwhile, at the front, it's Toxic Tomato still in the lead by just over half a second. We got Jamie995 in the chat saying loving the racecraft. He wants it injected into his brains, that's for sure. But yeah, what a chaotic but yet very scrappy first lap here at Canada. Hopefully we don't get a repeat of what happened there in the F1 race later on. I think both Toro Rosso have wind damage. Let's have a look at Black Phoenix's. He's definitely struggling there through the corners. The camera angle's not the best. He has not got any visual front wing damage for me at least. Thomas though is on the back of him. So I need to get the telemetry and lap data up. I need to get some of this stuff up. Position changes. Greeny is up 11 positions off the start, although he could lose one of those to Bretzer. He's right on his gearbox. Of course, no DRS until next lap. Greeny's getting that nice, lovely tour of Ugi Azim in front of him. Tom has set the fastest lap of the race. We'll go back to that in a second, but we need to watch this battle here. Luke Green, Ugi Azim, and Bretzer. Luke Green, Greeny Ellis down to the inside. There's contact. He's forced Ugi out. Harsh but fair. Now here comes Bretzer around the outside. Nothing between them two either. Bretzer, of course, starting on the mediums. He doesn't have an advantage. He's got him. There's also battling between Sancho and Ski. The two guys have pitted. But right now, we're going to go back up to the top. We're going to go between the front three because they're all in range of each other down that back straight. Of course, we're the one of the, I think it's 3 DRS zones now around Canada in this game. I see that AMS actually jinxed to being in 7th there, kind of. Ever since he said that, he's dropped 2 positions and is actually back to where he started, so it's pretty unlucky. CC Brain opted to not run any ERS, never did Tom. They're not running much, they're not wasting too much early on in this race. Of course, it's not all or nothing just yet. Ugi Azim has got a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh, AMS, how you jinxed this, man. And they didn't replace the wing either. Absolute misery for the Rawalpindi Express. Anyway, back to the lead battle. Toss the tomato, taking an old line through there. I'd say just move back onto the racing line this as the corner finished. Sam's meanwhile sets the fast lap race in Mercedes, of course, won his teammate. And Leon is out and he's retired in the pit lane. I just saw that there. So he is out of the race. Of course, that could mean something. Someone retired in the pits in F3 yesterday. Still calls for virtual safety car, just as Thomas Jarre was going for an overtake on someone. And now Skeven's out of the race as well. What is going on here in F2? I just can't. And he's gone. He's binned it somewhere. Oh, he's put it in the wall over there. As you can see. Not a lovely sight to see a crashed F1 car on the wall. It's Greeny LFC making moves. Paco and Bretzer still with him. Is Paco going to send it down the inside? No, but he needs to watch for Bretzer because he's right there. Bretzer, a little peek at the move there. Coming into the chicane. Bretzer yet again. He's desperate to try and make this move because he knows if he's following Greeny, he's going to get somewhere in this race. My favourite F2 driver, I tried to stay neutral. Silas is now out. These drivers are dropping like flies, and Silas has retired in the pit lane like you should do. As I was saying, AMS, I try to keep as neutral as I can, so I don't really have a favourite driver, so to speak. As Black Phoenix is starting to reel in the top 3 again, and Thomas, whenever he's on the back of him still. CC Brain is trying to look for a move now. CC Brain pits! CC Brain pits for those softs. Those tyres are going off already. It's only lap 6. Stacey's been on for 4 laps. I don't quite believe that. I don't really see that as boring. Being neutral is a commentator's skill, I can tell you that. It's hard to be neutral. You've got to keep it, and you keep your respect as a commentator, because yeah, you get slated at for favouring another driver compared to another, like Sky Sports and Lewis Hamilton. A lot of people call them out for favouring Lewis Hamilton over Sebastian Vettel. Of course, a lot of British media as well. Well, the little corner of British media that actually supports Lewis Hamilton just because he is British. Well, I say that, but like, yeah, you get the gist. I'm biased towards Trico and F6, but I'm not biased towards anyone. I guess it could be biased just towards someone here, though. I'm only in here for one race, and it was pretty last minute. I had to cover in for Lordy, so yeah. Well, this is going on. Got Brettster going for a move on Paco. It was pretty easy as Paco just let him go. As yeah, he was pitting. Greeny's also pit after his amazing start, and also Wommer has pitted. He's going to say mediums. He's just got in front of Paco there, but he pitted. And Greeny's also out of Paco. Toxic Tomatoes picked up a penalty from the lead. That can mean a lot at the end of this race. What I've been noticing is, out of that corner, Toxic Tomato is taking a lot of odd lines, unless it is the real quicker line, and I'm just not seeing that. Or he's trying to break the toe to Black Phoenix, because he has reeled in Toxic Tomato. Of course, Toxic Tomatoes are worn soft tyres right now. Yeah, it's going to be there for Black Phoenix. He's not catching him. Even this session, he was ready at the race. Surprisingly though, what I saw from that 3-car pile-up into turn 3 on the opening lap as Toxic Tomato finally pits, there's no safety car. Of course, Codemasters did release a patch today, but surprise, surprise, it meant literally nothing in multiplayer terms except for those liveries in which no one gets. To be honest with you. Like, no one even races in multiplayer cars. As Maxi Luca takes a very weird line into turn 3 and gets a penalty for it. Toxic Tomato and Game of Paco have come out near enough with each other. See what Lewis meant with the undercut being overpowered. There's yellow flags, and it's Oogie Azim. He's lost his wing, so he's hit the wall. The MS Jigs has cursed him again in this race. Poor guy. And nearly crashes into the Brendan Hartley wall. But anyway, back to the battle between Matsuduka and Brettster. I believe that is the closest one on the track right now. The man who puts the star on the Pakistan flag, correct. As Brettster actually hit the wall of champions here and has picked up some wing damage. As Thomas pit, some of the softs. The last soft runner other than Samster, who pit on lap 1. Walmer goes quickest, and he's actually jumped Toxic Tomato. I don't know why I didn't point that out, but he has. Thomas is going to be with Toxic and Paco. And in fact, he's ahead of him. It's more with Greedy. Walmer's picked up a penalty, so it's not going to help him, is it? Ugizim is out of the race. A moment of silence for the Rawalpindi Express, which is derailed here in Canada. Anyway, look at Maxi Luca, he's closing in on Brettster. Of course, that wing damage in the second sector has not helped Brettster. It's a very technical section. He's going to go to the inside, actually. Oh! That is questionable from Brettster. In fact, I believe it's giving him more wing damage, and that's a really dumb move. CC Brain has also jumped Tom. Yep, so CC Brain's in the net lead then. And he's the 2 seconds ahead. Toxic Tomato's picked up another penalty. There's a move actually. That was Luke Green and TTG Thomas. There's 4 T's in that name. Very hard to get wrong. Easy. Bloody hell. Put yourself together, Jamie. Brain is in the boxy. Choo-choo. The so-called washed-up driver could be on for yet another victory. I don't know if he's actually got another victory this season. I remember he got quite a few in FP last season. And that's definitely not because he was in the Renault, by the way, for that France race. Greeny second wide line through there. Strava helped him with the run off the corner. And that's a lot of lag, which I'm enduring here. Toxic. Thomas is ahead of Luke Green, and hopefully hopefully he doesn't get involved in any battles, so I don't have to say that name again. TTT Thomas. TTT Thomas. There we go. I don't want to overdo that, so yeah. Let's go check Twitter, shall we? Just checking for some news on Twitter, alright, shall we? Looks like nothing is going on right now. Anyway, back to the race, back to the studios. Jeremy Clarkson was saying, I've missed this, haven't I? Three-way battle for third position here. CC Brady, who's in the net leader of the race, needs to be careful here if he's trying to try and maneuver Pitman, especially Brett's, who's had some questionable incidents in the past. Brett's actually lets him through, doesn't want to battle him. Must rather battle Pitman, because that's a more closer battle. He's actually pitted, and I believe 3-second penalty for corner cutting, even though he was entering the pits. Okay, Codemasters. Yeah, trucks are bad. Yellow flag, yellow flag, yellow flag, and Ollie Flavel's binned it into the wall. I don't know how he managed to go off there. Probably full throttle and then lost the swing somehow. Oh, give us a safety car, please. And he's locked up and he's going straight on again to the hairpin. Sam says finally pit. Really managed to keep with Thomas. I'm just gonna say Thomas. And I would probably assume that Ollie's gonna retire. Yeah. Ollie Flavel is the 7th retiree of the race. It's a race of attrition here in Montreal. Watching the current race leader and I believe championship leader too, Black Phoenix, out in front. 5 seconds between him and Maxi Luca. Pitmat's picked up a penalty, he's in 4th. Toxic Tomato's pitted again. And there is no one there, but floating tyres, when which one of them is actually inside his car, and now they disappeared. And the pit crew is walking through his car. That is some Daniel Ricciardo Monaco 2016 stuff, but it's more extreme. Okay then, once was the leader in this race, now at the back of the grid somehow. Yeah. CC Brave, meanwhile, I believe he is closing in on Maxi Luca as Ollie Flavel leads the section. It's gone from bad to worse for these Racing Point guys. And I believe that's another case of the curse, because I remember seeing in the chat, Praga said, I gotta support those Racing Point guys. It's Maxi Luca pits, so does Black Phoenix. CC Brain is going to take over the lead here in Canada. And Thomas is out. He's because he just sped into it. I don't know why he's done that. He's left the session. He was running his 7th, so I don't really understand why, unless he picked up some wing damage, in which I still don't understand, because he would have probably been out ahead of Brettster still. That is weird. Okay, so there's now 11 drivers left in this race. One more retirement and everyone scores points. Unless the driver inside the top 10 retires. Sam's just sped into the pits. And that's to change his wing. Yeah, the full grid as well. And it's just amounted to half the grid retiring from the race. Well, to have two. Brettster and Pitmat. Currently in a battle over P7. And also all before lap 14, so it's not even halfway in the race and almost lost half the grid. Can't wait to fall asleep in the second half. As Brettster on the back of Pitmat for 7th position, like I've just stated. I don't know why I state things like that twice. Pitmat's actually picked up a penalty through the World Champions chicane. Didn't hit the World Champions, of course. I would have noticed that. Hope the F5 race is a race of attrition. Maybe I could get a good result from McLaren boys. Like I know how to get penalties in Canada. I just know how to keep it on the track though, which is the main thing. Through the second chicane. Out with the free that's on this track, and Brett's just had a moment there. I'll keep on board this battle. It's the only one on the track right now, unfortunately. I noticed one of the buildings here in the Montreal City Centre looks like a charger USB. Okay. If I ever get that camera shot again. Yellow flags and Maxi Luca is out of the race. Has he done it in the Wall of Champion chicane? No, he has not. In fact, he's done it a little bit further up. Down the straight. A bit like Carlos Sainz or Antonio Liuzzi, whatever you want to look at it as. It was 2017 and 2007, respectively. Oh, sorry, it's 2016 then. Sainz did that. Or was it 2017? I don't know. And that means as well that every driver is now, of course, to score points. So down to 10 drivers after 16 laps. It's going to be quite the snooze fest for the second half of the race. So if you guys want to click off, then I don't blame you. It's just literally going to be nothing happening over this one battle here. So, if this battle, I think I'm going to recap you what happened to the drivers that retired. Because, why not? I mean, like, I know what happened to them. Yep, and including a 3-car pilot per turn 3 on lap 1. Including one car getting off the ground with its rear end. GG, Cody's. That's in response to Praga's comment. So yeah, why not run you through the retirements? Foxy Dude and Leroy crashed 2 and 3, like just mentioned. Leon got involved, but then retired later on. Skeven crashed at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just after Brandon Hartley curve. Silas retired in the pit lane, Oogie retired in the pit lane, Ollie retired in the pit lane after losing his front wing, Thomas also retired in the pit lane, and Max Luca crashed on the main straight, and Womma's pitted after just 10 laps on those mediums. Oh, there's a wing change. There's a wing change in there. He's damaged his wing somewhere. Where's he done that? Paco now inherits 4th. Brettster, here we go. Pitmat and Brettster finally making some moves in that battle. Pitmat runs wide to get the slingshot run, I guess you could say, off turn 2. leave to do that. To be given a little bit of an advantage. They need to watch out for Tom though, he's going to be quicker. He's going to catch that battle like a rocket. F2 admins 1 and 2 go on. Wait, Brest is an F2 admin. And Pitmat's the other F2 admin. Well, I'll be damned. Anyway, Toxic Tomatoes picked up yet another penalty. He was leading the race earlier on. Of course, he got pole position. Guess it's quite the qualification. Thomas caught them drastically. Oh. Alright. Yeah, I get confused when you say that. Because these two are battling, of course. Is that an attempt of a switchback move coming off the chicane? Are they going to go 3 wide here? Of course, it's like F2 to have those moments down straights like Canada's front straight. Because it was 4 wide back in Bahrain. There's one man pit map. One man picks up the position. So Wama is now going after Bretzer. What I also noticed is a Red Bull 1-2-3 because Black Phoenix in third as well. He's actually right on the back of Greeny here, so that F2 admin 1 and 2 status could be going down the drain here in a second. So the ERS up to overtake mode. He's going to make him go to the outside of the World Champions chicane, and he's not going to leave him any room. Greeny is going to hold on to this position if he needs to and has to. Just defend by all means necessary is Greeny's motto at this moment. I hate when it's actually 2 different battles, so it's so close together. It's hard to choose from which one you're actually going to watch. So you could miss something in the other battle while you're watching the other battle, and vice versa. But yeah, I'm going to keep on board with this one for now. 15 or 16 laps to go here in this race. Phoenix has got the run out of that corner. He's going to get him at the hairpin. Just before it, in fact, but Greeny's going to come back down the inside. Will he have to overshoot the corner just to make sure he does, and he keeps the position, but they're very close to each other in terms of tyre rubbing there, I guess you could say. Greeny's just letting go. CC Brain pits for the 2nd time. Black Phoenix is going to pick up the lead as Greeny picked up the penalty there. Back to Pitmat and Bretzer. Walmer's flown away, he's gone. Actually, does CC Brain change his front wing? I should have paid attention to that. Walmer sets a fast lap, as you could expect. And CC has actually, in fact, jumped him again here. Question is, Black Phoenix on them hards. He's been on them since, if my math serves me correctly, lap 14. So, will he make it to the end on a set? Will the hards do 21, 22 laps? It remains to be seen as Cameron Anderson drops to the back. We get an Alfa Romeo and a Williams. If we had an Alfa Romeo and a Williams, or it would be one of each constructor between every driver in the top 10 and another team as well. Ferrari, yeah, Ferrari. So yeah, that's pretty embarrassing. And Cameron Anderson is in fact in AI mode, because of blue flags with Greeny and Paco pitted. Tom picks up another penalty. Greeny's run a stellar of a race. Under the flash, under the cover, Carlos Sainz style. He started from the back, P19, and is currently P4, chasing down the podium. On fresher tyres, may I add. Pit Matt and Brett, so how these two guys are still in battle with each other, locking horns and I don't know what. Yeah. Oh, Brettster, that's a moment. He's kept it together and he's still going to keep the position for at least a corner. Pit Matt needs to use an ERS if he wants to get the move done exactly here. He has got the run compared to Brettster. He's running the same amount of ERS, but he hasn't got the DRS toe as Pit Matt has. Pit Matt is still neck and neck with him. He's through. So Pit Matt's back ahead of him now, and Cherry Tupai is in the pits again for a set of softs. I should imagine he'll be going to the end. Well, not going to the end, going for the fastest lap. That would be stupid if you tried that. See, even the best of the commentators can make a mistake sometimes. And also the chat has been pretty dead. Probably fallen asleep due to everyone retiring from the race, so I'm going to say this now. Wake up! Yeah, that should have woken you up. Hopefully it did. I need some support here. Yeah, at least someone's awake, MS. I know I won't be for too much longer the way this race is going. If this battle does end, then yeah, I'll be gone probably. No, I'm joking. Of course I'm gonna stay awake. I'm not that type of person. Actually, Greeny and Tom. Like I said, Greeny would probably catch him on the fresher tyre. He's actually now within DRS range. 3 temps is the gap. 3.5 temps. The DRS is going to be in full swing here down this straight away. And the way out the toe goes that Red Bull to cut in front of Tom. With a perfect DRS overtake. But you know, skill required. F1 drivers, it's easy for F1 drivers to drive cars nowadays. It's not as hard as it was back in the 70s because they got all like, the buttons and stuff and there's more traction on the cars. Okay, but yeah, I get it. I don't know why I did that, to be honest. It's the fact there's no battles on the track. It's making me lose my mind, except for this one. And everyone, Foxy Dude is finally left the session after retiring on lap 1. I'll tell you what this race needs, I should have had, is a safety car. It should have had one on lap 1 for that free car pilot. Yeah, we never got it. We got some stuff going down in the chat away. As a first joining the stream. Welcome to the Canada Ball Fest. If you just joined us, we still got 2 battles on the track, but other than that, nothing's happening. Bear in mind, it's hardly been anything going on in battles, so yeah. F1 starting in a moment, I don't really mind if you go off and join them. For all you Newcastle or Aston Villa fans, your game is about to kick off, so yeah. It's a good game. Doing my first show with Toon and Villa fans. It's Sam's to the pits. He's had a quiet race. I've had a couple of wing changes, including one here. Not his first one of the day. He's going to go and try and set the fastest lap of the race, something that Cameron Anderson Charity Pie hasn't managed to do. And now he's gone ghosted. I know that's not because he paused, it's because he's getting lapped. I need to remember that. Brett's is just falling off pit mat. That's done before. That is a lap car behind them, and then behind them is Paco, who's 3 seconds down the road. So odds of him catching not the highest. Let's say Brett's just picked up a penalty, and that's the end of that battle. I should imagine. In terms for position at the end of the race. Pit match just locked up when I was daydreaming there. Just picked that one up, and Brett's still within half a second. Let's just watch warm up for a moment, shall we? Guessing people are just left to get ready for the F1 stream. Maybe there's some drivers in YouTube from F1. Oh wow, okay, so the lap car of Cherry 2 Pie has actually overtaken Brettster, and Brettster has now got the other McLaren in his way. Thankfully for his sake, that McLaren is ghosted, because he's a lap down. And there's some interesting stuff going on between them. If he's ghosted, would Brettster still get the tow? Well, if Cameron Anderson gets the DRS, and Brettster should get the tow. Samster, like I said, is getting fastest lap. CC catching Black Phoenix, so we're probably not enough laps left for CC. He's 4.2 behind. Check his sector gap. He's lost a 10 actually when he was on board with him there, so yeah, and now that McLaren getting in the way of Brettster and Pitmat has actually held Pitmat up a bit. Brettster's now back within range. Toxic Tomato picks up another penalty. But I'll be Black Phoenix for a second. Oh, Brettster. That's close. And there goes the other McLaren off and out. But he's just unghosted now. That annoyed me. Paco is catching though. Paco has caught Brettster a bit. He is in fact within DRS range. But it won't be long before his mediums start to feel the effect of dead, let's say. Back up to that battle. Brett's not using the RS required. I think it's required to get pit map. He's fallen off so much that now it's equal gap between him and Pitmat and Paco. Literally in the middle of them. Well, let's have a look at the position. Actually, no, that's something else. Never usually gets looked at. I don't know what else there is, but I'll have a look. Stops. Interesting. Of course, those back marker guys. Cherry 2 players on 5 stops in this race. Indeed he did, actually, I remember that, even though I wasn't commenting over it. And here comes that battle. Paco's past Brettster. As I was saying, Cameron Anderson has done 5 stops in this race. I don't think anyone cares right now, to be honest, because look at this battle here. Paco has his eyes set on Pitmat. Pitmat's picked up another penalty. He's going to launch it down into turn 1. Not quite HMFC style, but he has scuffed it up a little bit. Now Brettster's back alongside him again. And down into turn 3 and 4. For one of the last times for these drivers in this race. But the ball first ends and we can go to F1. Oh, Brettster's moved him. Brettster's moved him. Flem had the position though. That was some kind of NASCAR maneuver from Brettster there to just bump into the back of him to try and move him out the way. I don't think it was intentional though. He's actually picked up wing damage in the process, and Paco got a bit of a slide there coming through that chicane. Got on the curb a bit too much and it got stuck to it. Pitmat's locking up. Those drivers in the hard tyres are going to be struggling. Because CC Brain as well has also taken nearly a second out of Black Phoenix within the last lap or two. Swap laps his teammate. Interestingly though, Pitmat, despite being on the same, well, his tyres been the same age as the likes of Brettster and Black Phoenix, is actually pulling away from Paco. Paco isn't the one with wing damage. Either that or those mediums are now starting to go off the cliff a little bit. Well, it was a merger, Praga. It was a merger between F3 from last season and F2 last season. That's what I like to have, guess you could see, the midfield guys from F3 last season currently battling at the top, I guess you could say, this season. Especially Leon. I mean, like, he struggled a bit at the start of the season, but that was, I think it was because the racing line was for him turned off. He turned it back on, and all of a sudden, bam, he's got pace again. Pace to be in the top tier. I guess you could say same with some of the current F5 drivers, F6 drivers from last season. Especially F6 last season, we had F3 pace drivers in that division. Of course, a couple of seasons prior when Bran and Leroy were in there. He hadn't run for any money though, if I was on track with him. I miss those days when I was actually in the top 5 in the championship for once. So yeah, hard to believe that, isn't it? Actually finished 4th in the standings this season. Oh, this rebel there without a wing. It's Greeny. Something's happened to Greeny. He's lost a bit of his wing and he's lost the podium. And Warner's back up in the 3rd position. He's back in that podium spot, but Greeny's not going to get this one up. Of course, he's got the more straight line speed. The arrow at the front is not there, so it creates more of a drag effect. And CC has to cut the chicane. Warner also got a penalty. CC actually did. Not CC. I've been saying CC. It's Greeny. Greeny didn't either. That's Paco and Pitmat. Paco's ahead. Paco's ahead. All of a sudden now this race is just exploding into life with just 2 laps left, and I just couldn't contain it. And now the gap at the top is only 2 seconds. Like, bear in mind, like, actually, but penalties has a lot to say in this race, and you know these drivers are racking them up. Like MS has said, CC's normally sensible with his penalties. And I believe the F1 stream has actually started now. No, it hasn't. That's just other YouTube's uploading. Okay. I think it's not far off starting the last lap of the race. The Greeny has, unfortunately for his sake, lost that podium. That's not going to be popular. the non-armchair fans of PSGL. Of course, the ones I've been watching for about 20 seasons, the seasoned veterans. Packer trying to break the toe and he's almost a second ahead. So Black Phoenixes start the last lap of the race. And I'm not going to do any podium interviews because I'm just going to let you all rush off and enjoy F1. Of course, I never have any questions to ask anyway, so it's pretty much pointless. I'm useless when it comes to podium interviews. Don't know how many of you actually noticed that by now. So then, as Black Phoenix is coming down the back straight now for the final time in this race. It's trimmed flawlessly, unlike some drivers. Didn't even last after the race, and Black Phoenix will come out the last corner. Whether he'll keep the win is unknown. CC Brain has actually dropped off a bit. But Black Phoenix wins. Toxic Tomatoes is the fastest lap, but CC Brain takes it on penalties by half a second. Tom's going to come home and finish in third. CC Brain wins the race. He gets another penalty. He's just wanting to get across that line, finish this race. Been a great drive from him, fair play. Paco fifth. But Paco's gone third. Never mind. Paco's on the podium. Because Tom has so many penalties. How many penalties does this man get? Tell you just got a time trial set, can't you? How many penalties these two get to let Paco get in front of them? Sehr gut, Brian. Wunderbar. Is that how you say it? I read that in the way that Sebastian Vettel said that on the radio Brazil after he crashed with Leclerc. And that's those revs are kicked into the VTEC's kicked into those revs, and it's giving me a earache. And Toxic Tomato crashes his car as it comes across the line. But still, he was a good 12 seconds in front of the likes of Paco and Pitmark, Green LFC, of course. So yeah, that's rather interesting how he's had so many penalties that he let Paco's like 15 seconds behind to get the podium. And I missed the podium celebration, shame on me, I know. Benzo Swanzo. BP had wing damage, just message him. Black Phoenix, I'm guessing it is. So, yeah, so CC Brain wins the race on penalties. Black Phoenix second, Paco third, Warmer fourth, Greeny fifth, Brett's sixth, Pitmat seventh, Toxic Tomato, Samson eighth, Samson ninth, Charity Pie, Cameron Anderson in 10th, 2 laps down. Washed up driver, I must say so myself. So Tom did get, I'd like to say, 12 seconds worth of penalties. Pitmat got 18 seconds of penalties. F1 streaming on up. Is no one streaming it? What's going on? No one's streaming F1, are they? From what I can see, no one is streaming F1. I mean, like, I wouldn't mind doing 2 commentary sessions on the bounce if I wouldn't mind doing it, of course, F1 being the main league. Who was meant to be commentating? Zone Wyatt, isn't it? He hasn't been in for a few weeks, pretty sure. Love to get paid for doing commentary duties in a league race. It's probably what the esports commentators get anyway. But yeah, that's the end of F2. You may see me again in just a moment, depending on if the F1 stream is going to be up. But yeah, for now, F2 is finished. Next week, same time. Can't remember the track. Yeah, see you later.